Good evening, everybody. And it is a fine evening. It was 80 degrees here in Pittsburgh. Right now it's probably 72 degrees and very pleasant outside. So I've been playing on the tractor, been moving cars around. Nice spring day. Okay, so here's again one of those analyses that we have much greater benefit knowing what candlestick signals are telling us versus just what the numbers are. So the Dow was down 26.5 points today, but as we can see, it wasn't a very strong selling day. Had a hammer type signal that brought the Dow back up above the T-line. And the NASDAQ, even though it sold off, pretty much bounced right at here. Now that's not the right lines. Let me do this. Change charts here because I think okay, now let's see that's what I thought. As we can see, we're on the 20 doing a doji, but the important factor is we're doing a doji. That it wasn't a very hard selling day. Even though you're down 10 points, it wasn't a real decisive selling day, and we're still in this channel right here. So the influences, whoops, that's not right. Crude oil started up this morning and then backed off, but it looks like crude oil is trading back up after hours. The T-line is still very influential. There might be a T-line crunch going on right now. So that's keeping the crude oil or the crude oil stocks charts hefty or strong. And then we can see what's happening in the gold market or the gold prices. Big fry pan bottom. And that still leads to the potential of another big price move to the upside coming out of the fry pan, and now a J-hook pattern setting up with basically a slow curving fry pan bottom. And let's see, the dollar is trying to make a turn. There's a double bottom here. Backed off today, but notice where it backed off to. Right smack dab to the T-line. So keep an eye on this. The dollar will have an influence on now on the crude oil prices. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else of great interest out here. Cattle's doing a big bullish harami. Soybeans came up strong today. Whoops. I think they are stronger than this. Nope, they sold off on near the close. But you can see what happened to soybeans. Bounced up bullish harami right here off the T-line area. Boy, silver. I keep getting this one stopped. Silver, just kind of a slow, steady uptrend, what I call a stair step, up, sideways, up, sideways. So they're not really selling it off. They had some big potential reversal signals, but it was just kind of profit taking in here. So I'd definitely stay long silver until you see that actual close below the T-line. Okay, and I don't think there was anything else out there that was creating any great excitement in the commodities world or in the futures world. Big long-legged doji and cotton today. So if this starts coming back down through the T-line area, can be shorting cotton on the basis that it's probably going to be doing the J-hook pattern. Okay. IRM in this J-hook pattern, and when they gap it out of a J-hook, that usually tells you there's going to be some good strength to it. So you want to stay long this stock with the anticipation that wave 1, wave 2, let's see if I can calculate this, 34.50 from, let's just start it from here, 27, $7.5. That takes you up about the $52 or $53 area on the next move on this one. Okay, because of those gap ups, we saw that today in AVXL. Big move up, hit the top of the channel, stochastics coming up. I would still suspect a very good 45 degree to come off of here. That's something that you can get ready to buy on positive trading tomorrow. We also recommended Yard, and for some reason YRD just does not come up over here. This makes you want to kick your grandmother, doesn't it? I don't know why it doesn't come up, but that's YRD is a good looking chart. We'll probably be recommending CFMS tomorrow. You can see the wedge formation. You can see the slow curve. You can see we're right about here at the breakout area. Definitely want to be a buyer of this one with the next target up here at the 200-day moving average. Whoops. And ALDR is one that ever since it did this big gap up, been in a 45 degree. Now it's closed right smack dab on the T-line. After 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 doji type days, makes this very simple. If it opens lower tomorrow, you close out the position. You're up in the overbought area with 6 dojis. That's telling you it's time to take a look to see if they can't move it anymore, that if they open it lower, it means they've given up. TXMD, one of the biotechs that is still working, or one of the medicals that is still working well. And BBG, Bill Barrett, ever since this kind of belt hold, is even a bigger belt hold on some of the other charts, tells you there's going to be more upside. We saw that same type of pattern a while back over here in Mankind, where we had this belt hold type signal, had some good strong upside. And basically the belt hold pretty much wipes out all the sellers that are in the way. And that makes the next move pretty strong because there's no sellers there anymore. Another nice chart, CIT, but here it is as a doji right smack dab bouncing off the T-line. Makes this, and this is why you want to use the rule of the doji to help you take profits or continue a trade. We know the simple rule of the doji is going to be that they're going to move it in the direction of how they open it tomorrow. They open it lower, take your profits. You can always buy back when a J-hook pattern setup is confirmed. And CC, same scenario. You have a doji after a big bearish engulfing signal, but the bearish engulfing signal gave us another message that they bounced right off the T-line. Makes this very simple. If it opens positive, you know your little J-hook pattern's in progress. If they open it lower, you've got the potential of a bearish doji sandwich, close it out. You can always see what it does once it gets back here to the T-line. But if you can effectively keep your cash without diminishing it, that means you've got that much money to go after something else that has a high probability to the upside. TCK, same scenario. It's going to move in the direction how they open this one after the doji today. Okay, a few that we want to take a look at just for illustration purposes. Kiwi had a good looking chart. And notice how far away you were from the T-line. And they opened it lower the next day after the spinning top. Where do you think they were taking it back to? Down here. So when they opened it down here, I know the enthusiasm or the hopefulness is up. They're opening lower, but they're still going to take it up because this is a strong move. But you have to take a look, see what the probabilities are, that if they open it lower after a spinning top doji type day in the overbought condition that far away from the T-line, that tells you right away there's profit taking and they're going to probably bring it back here. if you held on to it, when should you have been out? Definitely on this day. Because notice what you have now, a bearish engulfing signal, a close below the T-line. Now you've got another doji close below the T-line. That pretty much tells you the bears are in control. You shouldn't be in this one anymore. CNX also has the bearish signal showing up. Let's get rid of this. Evening star signal, then close below the T-line. Bearish engulfing signal. Bearish engulfing signal. So you're starting to get toppy signals up here. Makes this very simple. It has to open positive and trade positive to stay in it. When I say trade positive, if it opens up, you immediately put your stop at the close of today. Because if it opens up and has enough selling pressure to push back down through, then that tells you what's happening up here, that the sellers are now taking control. Oops. Hold on, I skipped a spot here. What was that? CNX, all right. And here's the reason why you always want to have a stop at a logical spot, or if you see indecisive trading up here and they gap it down, close it out. Anytime you see a gap down, especially up here in the overbought area, close out the position. Will they sometimes gap it down and take it right back up? They could, but the probabilities are if you're in an overbought condition and they're gapping it down, somebody's decided to get out, and not only get out, but get out with some force. Okay, which ones have I done? Kara is another one that gave you the signal. Big bearish left-right combo. If you stayed in it, what did it have to do the next day? It had to open positive and trade positive. When it started trading this direction, you have to assume immediately that the sellers are still there. You have shown several red bearish engulfing signals. If the engulfing candle was green, the engulfing signal was green, no, then you'd basically have a bullish engulfing signal in the overbought condition, which doesn't mean very much. What you essentially have is bearish engulfing signals in the overbought conditions. That's where you look for your sell signals. Okay, the one that looks very attractive is AYA, AYA. And the reason for that is what type of pattern you have. Look where your doji was today. Thomas, hold on to your individual requests. When I tell Jim to do the double line, then you put in your request. And you want to hold them to 2 requests per person. Well, notice what it did today. A doji right smack dab on the 50-day moving average. Stochastic's coming up. Which way do you think it's going? Heading in this direction. So this makes it very simple. If they open this positive, you want to start buying immediately, because you're going to have a doji sandwich breakout of a fry pan bottom, and you're going to be breaking this downward trend channel. That tells you you're in new territory. That same scenario can be used with flowers. Make this a little bit smaller so we can see the trend. See, you've got a downward resistance level. I can do this. They're pretty much right down through the tops here. Now you've got a doji at the top of a big trading day. Stochastic still heading up. Even as a day trade, if this opens positive tomorrow, what's our simple rule? It's going to move in the direction how they open after a doji. If they open it positive after a doji after a big day, what's the magnitude of this big day? About the same as this. Where does that put you? You know you can target right up here to the 200-day moving average. So even on a day trade basis, you know what percentage move you're going to get on a positive open. Floor, there's that slow curve, fry pan bottom, and where are you? Right back here. If they open positive, you want to be buying because what becomes your next target? Top of this trend channel. And NVCR, this one gapped up. Make this big enough where we can see it. Gapped up as a doji, used the 50 as support, closed right on the T-line. If it opens positive, that's going to be a strong move. There's your dojis right on the 50. You want to be buying immediately because if they break out through this area, got some pretty strong running room after that. But especially starting with a doji sandwich, breaking out. OCN was one that people were pointing out in the chat room today. Nice fry pan bottom. Going from here to here, that's a pretty hefty move. That's, I can figure this out. 15, 20% just to get up here. And then if it breaks there, you can see what it did over here. Left a gap up here at the 200. You can get that big slingshot effect. And this is where you can find those big percentage moves on those fry pan bottom breakouts. Dean Foods, there's your Morningstar signal. And where did it occur? At the end of a flat trading range. So that's not the bottom. That's just at the end of a flat trading range. But what does that set up? Well, you've got that little scoop pattern. Look for a slingshot effect out the other side, especially on a positive open tomorrow. NPTN, Morningstar signal right off the 50. This one you can be buying on positive trading tomorrow. That's a good looking chart. And you can pretty well calculate what your next price move may be. From here to here, look for that same magnitude of movement in the next wave. ACAD, another one that had a doji type day right smack dab at the top of the resistance level. If it opens positive, your doji sandwich breakout will take you into wave 3. Oh, AD. Oh, RO. There was a doji sandwich breakout on ADRO, fry pan bottom, broke out. This has a lot of running room. This is exactly what you're looking for, is that breakout of a fry pan bottom. I wouldn't be afraid to be buying this one on positive trading. I goofed up. I missed a lot of these doji sandwich setups. GPS gaps. I've done something drastically wrong there. Apparently, what have I done? Huh. Anyways, that's a good looking short. Gotta put that down here. Whoops. GPS. Oh, done it again. How could I miss? NXTR is not coming up. I think that had a doji sandwich setup. Whiting has a little bit of a doji sandwich setup. Somewhat as a doji. If this opens positive, coming out of this resistance level, you want to be buying that one. Same scenario with Haas in the oil field. If this opens positive, good prospect, they could take this right up to the 200. Same scenario on KOS, which we recommended today, but it didn't activate. But if it came back up through today's high, then you have kind of a doji sandwich breakout. Gus, I'll get to the big ones here in a few minutes. OVAS, another doji sandwich potential right at the breakout level. And AXON, same scenario. If this opens positive after this day, look for it to move right up to the 200-day moving average. Okay, the biggies like Amazon, it came back today, did a bullish left-right combo right smack dab on the T-line. You want to be buying this one immediately on positive trading tomorrow with the anticipation that your J-hook pattern like we saw here is in progress, that your uptrend still remains, and all you have to do is stay long as it doesn't close back below the T-line. Apple is still kind of the weak sister here. I would suspect it's going to still try to touch the 50-day moving average. And Netflix stays short on this one. Ever since this little kicker type signal, gap down, tells you there's lots of negative force still in this one until you see your next buy signal. And Tesla, this one you can get ready to buy, again, on a doji sandwich type positive trading day tomorrow. Telling you the J-hook pattern is in progress. Okay. A few more good ones on the long side. Eyes, another one that has a potential of going up to the 200 coming out of this little fry pan bottom. PTC, that was the result of your fry pan bottom breakout. Now, looks like the buying's coming in. I would look for a 45-degree to come off of here. This one you can be buying on positive trading. Now, a lot of people say, well, shoot, the stock's already up 10, 12, 15% over the last week of trading. That's true, but this pattern told you broke out. You probably got a new pattern set up in progress. Forgot where I was. Oh, the mining stocks backed off today, but if like CDE, silver miner, shows you right here on the T-line. Again, very simple. Our charts are out of sync with your analysis. Huh? Charts are out of sync with your analysis. Joe, you got me there. I don't know what that means. But there's a doji right here on the T-line. It needs to open positive. And if it opens positive tomorrow, you can definitely be a buyer. Are you delayed, Joe? For some reason? The other golds, like AU, if you held on to this, which you shouldn't have, it should have been closed out on Friday with it closing below the T-line, because now what type of pattern are you setting up? Looks like it's going to be a slow drift back to the 50. You can always buy it back if it comes back up through the T-line and breaking this channel. SA is kind of the weakest of all of them. This one should have been closed out on Friday with the idea that, again, you get this downward slow channel. And AY or AUY had to stay up above the T-line, which it did, but it has to open positive tomorrow. If it opens lower, it means there's still trouble in River City. But from what it looks like, I'm suspecting gold is in this big fry pan bottom. And the longer it stays here, more the gold stocks, because of the new stock offering. All right, thanks, John. More of the gold prices stay up here, That's more potential for people to still come back into the gold stocks. AUY, did I do this one? Yes, did that one. And GG, another one that has to come back up above the T line to stay in it. Otherwise, we're probably drifting back to the 50. Okay. TTNP, nice J-hook pattern. Wave 1, wave 2, wave 3. Wave 1, wave 2, going into wave 3. And what this chart is telling you is, after it came out of this fry pan bottom, J-hook, another move, J-hook. These J-hook patterns essentially tell you that the profit taking's coming in, they move it up again. Profit taking coming in, move it up again. So how long do you hang on to this wave? Until you see a sell signal. PFSW, I think, had a bullish engulfing signal on the other charts. Even so, you got a big piercing signal. This one you still can buy on positive trading. Again, wave 1, wave 2, going into wave 3. FN, get ready to buy this one on positive trading. Breaking out through this area, kind of on a slow curve. And then NVRO. Oh yeah, there's lots of them that we could see we're pulling back doing J-hook patterns. NVRO, Morningstar type signal, right smack dab off the buy this one on positive trading, telling you the next wave is going to be about the same magnitude. Okay, let me see. I think these are the shorts. You can be shorting this one for a number of reasons. There's your kicker signal to the downside. Came down to this level, but then did another doji, then opened lower today. There was your bearish doji sandwich. That tells us there's going to be more downside in this one. AKRX had been strong, but now we've got an evening star signal. Where's the next likely move? Back here to the 50-day moving average. So if you were long and it closed here, you can see the evening star signal and it closed below the T line. You should have closed out the position. And now get ready to go short if it opens weaker tomorrow. Prego, this is more of just to give you an example of, let's get rid of these. You can see where it failed. There's a bearish engulfing signal right smack dab off the 50. It failed the 50 up here. Then you got another bearish engulfing signal right smack dab on the 50 with a doji that came up and used the 50 one more time and failed the 50 one more time. Then the gap down told you that pretty much this support area had gone. This gets you set up for those big price moves to the downside. Anytime you start seeing them gap down below the T line, especially after a candlestick signal, you just know the probabilities are now highly in your favor that they're heading lower. Same scenario on something like this on Hawaiian Air. Now, Hawaiian Air also did a doji that came up and used the 50 as a resistance level, which means if they open this lower tomorrow, we've got the prospects of another big move to the downside. So that one, you want to get ready not only to be shorting it, but buying puts on this one, even on a day trade basis. And that's the reason why we shorted Alaska Air this morning. Notice when they gapped this down on Friday, they came through this support level. They came below the 50. They closed below the 200, and after they took it up, what happened there? Took it up a little bit, failed at the 200. This is such a strong force to the downside. I would suspect they're coming back down to the Make this smaller. Down into this area where this all started from. LXU, observe the obvious. Where did we get sell signals? Right smack dab off the 200. When they took it up today, they failed the 200 again, closed below the T-line. Where's your next likely target? Back down here to the 50. So whenever you can see what everybody else is watching, obviously the 200-day moving average to see if it's going to be, they break through it or whether it's going to fail, we can see immediately with the kind of a shooting star, spinning top, and then another failure confirmation of that signal. Stochastics in the oversold area or the overbought area, that makes a lower open a high prospect that they're going to be selling this one off. RYAM, did we? Oh, we did this one already. Again, this one was where when they gapped it down in the overbought condition, there's only one thing you want to do: close it out immediately. They shouldn't be gapping down if you're in an uptrend. And BIDA, observe the obvious. Where did they fail? Right smack dab at the 200 with a bearish Harami. A close below the T-line. Now kind of a bearish doji sandwich. So when this started trading lower today after this type of signal, remember this doji hammer signal gave us a very big clue as to what to do. If it opened positive, it told us the T-line was acting as support. We were looking for the bobble breakout. If it opened lower, it pretty much told us they weren't heading up. This was the failure at that level, that they were probably heading back to the 50. Cons, not a sell signal, but a failure at the 50s. So you're in a downtrending channel. If it trades below the T-line, you can be shorting it because it's probably going to come down here to the bottom of this channel. On the other hand, if it holds the T-line, get ready for your cup and handle bobble breakout pattern. This is why, again, this is why you really want to kind of remember what your strong patterns are so you can see, and because each signal is going to tell you, or each daily formation is going to tell you whether it's acting strong or oh, I forgot what I was saying. Oh, each daily signal tell you whether a pattern setting up that's going to be bullish or whether it's confirming to the bearish side. So here's another gap down at the top of a channel, down to the bottom of the channel, but they gap down with stochastics still heading down. Milam can still be shorted on weakness tomorrow. And HSC, there's your evening star signal closing right on the T-line area. If it opens lower, telling you the 50 is the next target. And RXDX, the bigger the signal, there's your big belt hold bearish signal, more likely they're going to be selling it off. First target is right here, which isn't that far away, but then the next target would be the top bottom of the channel. So anytime you can see these big signals, that's telling you something. There's been a definite reversal of investor sentiment. Okay, that's about all I got. Right now, if we can see what the market is going to do on the open tomorrow, if they open up positive, I want to start going after some of these potential doji sandwiches because you know the probabilities, Pshaw, would be greatly in your favor, and you can pretty much calculate what your potential price move would be for the day. That wasn't it. What were the, AYA. AYA be a good example of a breakout situation on positive trading tomorrow. All right, that's about all I got tonight. Are there any general questions on candlesticks? When buying options on these shorts, are you in the money or out? That's up to each individual, Stephen. Um, that's yeah, it all depends on how aggressive or conservative you want to play. What is a belt hold? Oh, what was our belt hold? Oh, Angie's List was a good example of a belt hold. Here's your trading range. Then they gap it way down out of your trading range and bring it back in. Basically, the Japanese rice traders say the two sumo wrestlers are fighting. One's trying to back out of the ring. The other one grabs his belt and pulls him back in. Then they're back to wrestling and change, go to the other side of the ring. Essentially, what it does is, if they gap it way down, they've taken out a lot of sellers down here. And all those sellers are being sopped up as it comes right back up. So by the time they get it back up here into the trading range, a lot of the sellers have been taken out of the way. That means there aren't that many sellers in front. It means a strong move to the upside. There's Exxon Mobil. Yeah, there's a Mobil. There's kind of a belt hold right there. I forgot what our other belt hold was. Bah. Anyways, when they gap way out of the trading range and come back. They don't have to make a signal. There's a belt hold. Gapped way down here and came back up into the trading range. In this case, did kind of a bullish engulfing. Shows you there's not very much selling in front of it anymore. Could you show the actual pin breakout? This is kind of your fry pan bottom, a slow curve. Here's your breakout level right there where it was resistance before. In OCN, you can see the big fry pan bottom, and where's your the top of it? Right up here. So if they were able to, coming out of this fry pan bottom, they're coming up here, they're pretty much probably going to be coming to the 50, which over the next few days would be right about here, about the same place. And that becomes your breakout area. Yeah, oh, that's right. Bill Barrett did a belt hold down here. It was bigger on some of the other charts where it opened right here and came back up. But you can see where they traded away out of the trading range and then came back up into the trading range. And TNT S.TNT. Oh, can't get TNT over here for some reason. With the doji sandwich, is the initial exit stop at entry next day? With the doji sandwich, what is the initial exit stop at entry next day? Which ones were we looking at? Oh, AYA. If I was buying this one on positive trading, if it opened up here and started trading positive, I wouldn't want to see it come back through the open. Because if it opened and started trading positive, or if it opened and immediately started trading positive, I'd be out of it right here, because what do we expect after a doji? We expect it, if it opens positive, to move in this direction. If it opens and comes back to this direction, what do we now have? Basically a bearish left-right combo. What is the 45-degree example of the finish? What is a 45-degree example to the finish? To the finish. 45-degree usually comes after a big pop-up. And then all you have to do is stay long until you see a candlestick sell signal and a close back below the T-line. Trying to think of some of the others that are just kind of steady eddies at this point. Oh, CPXX. Whoops. CPXX. See where they popped this one up big? Been in a 45 degree. They've never been able to close it yet below the T-line. So all you do is you stay long until you see a sell signal and a close below the T-line. Okay. Yeah. TXMD. Kind of that same scenario. Gap up, left. There's your left-right combo right here at the 50. They gap it up, did a long-legged doji spinning top, opened it positive the next day. Still a little bit worrisome. But then when they open it and you start seeing them taking it positive, that's when you can be buying. And now all you have to do is hold as long as it doesn't close below the T-line. Yeah, usually the breakout of a fry pan bottom is going to be right about where it started. Usually the fry pan bottom is going to be a pretty horizontal. Now you got some where the, I forget which one, sometimes you get a fry pan bottom that looks something like this where it's kind of curving in this direction. Which of the buy signals are strong enough to work if markets open lower tomorrow? Things like a kicker signal, things like, well, you saw it today. And AXVL had a nice big up day. It backed off with the market trading soggy, but that was still a best friend. It tells you there's probably likely going to be more upside. Doesn't the tail disqualify it as a belt hold in Bill Barrett? Not necessarily. I think over here, let me take a quick look. Yeah, see over here, they opened it at the bottom and took it straight up. So it doesn't really matter if there's a tail there or not. It's still, in either case, whether you want to call it a belt hold or a big bullish engulfing with a booster on it, doesn't matter. It's still a very bullish reversal signal. Yeah, Mankind had a belt hold a while back over here in this trend where it's coming up. They gapped it daily down and brought it right back up again. And Angie's List is another one where just in the last few days, gapped it way down and brought it right back up again. If you have long upper wick, as in AXL, is that AVXL? No. Remember, your stochastics are coming up. You've just gotten the message. The message was they gapped it up, and there was profit taking. So now what happens? If it opens positive, what's it telling you? The profit taking is probably over. The message is still there. They wanted to get into this one with great enthusiasm. Okay, I guess with that, Jim, go ahead and do the double line. And in 3.8 seconds, do the next double line. Okay. See if the scrolling will stop. TTPH. This bigger. There's your big morning star signal. You stay long on this one. Now you have a shooting star doji. So if they open it lower, expect some profit taking back to the T-line. So if you're nimble, you see it open lower, close it out, and then see what it does once it gets back to the T-line. CBay, all you can do is stay long, 45 degree coming off this big breakout move. Oh, Pasha, hang on for 1 second. Oh, I just love solicitation calls. Okay. Soda. Nothing exciting on this chart, but right now I'd be more apt to be going short because what's this chart telling you? Pretty much telling you it's a crummy chart. And right now they're selling it off on this kind of dumpling top. I'd be going short on this one on weakness. Oh, you already had that. And is this Devin DeVry? Same scenario. You can see you're in a downtrend, and you can see you had the doji gap down. So I wouldn't be afraid to be shorting this one on weakness. The market, gold market vectors, still in this trend, but right now kind of toying with the T-line. So very important to see what they do tomorrow. They have to open this positive to keep the uptrend in progress. And Pfizer, another one that you'd want to see open pretty much positive, still use the T-line as your stop. It's, I guess, somewhat what you'd consider a 45 degree ever since this big surge, but Pfizer doesn't have a big percentage move to it, or it has to move. It doesn't move around very much percentage-wise. Freeport, same scenario. To stay with this, you have to see it open positive tomorrow. PCRX, slow fry pan bottom. You can still be buying this one. That's still a good-looking chart. Got to remember, on a fry pan bottom, essentially what they're telling you is the investor sentiment's building up. And where does it usually break out? When your stochastics are already up here in the overbought condition. OCLU also has to open positive. You've got a bearish engulfing closing right on the T-line. If it opens lower, you close out the position and then wait for the next buy signal. I wouldn't short it unless it really started selling down through the 200 tomorrow. NPTN, this one is probably going to be on the recommended list tomorrow. I'd be a buyer of this one going into wave 3. Smegmo, whoops, that's not the right one. Oh. This one, if it opens positive, it's going to be telling you after the left-right combo that they're not resisting your wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, taking you up in this area someplace. Kahlo, stay long. Ever since your little gap up from here, notice how you had a series of indecisive trading and then gapped it up, kind of a cradle pattern. I'd suspect the 200 being the next target. Skechers, just stay long. Notice when they gapped up through the 50 and did the doji, when they opened it positive, told you they were still taking it up. Had they opened it lower, probably would have seen some profit taking maybe all the way back down to the 50. Hello, Victor. TRGP, just keep an eye on this one. See if it's doing a J-hook pattern. It needs to stay above or close above the T-line. And XRS, same scenario. You did a little doji right on the T-line. It has to open positive. If it opens lower, you're now coming back into the trend channel. Whoops. The trend channel, meaning you could come back down to the 50, which would be the bottom of this trend channel. OAS, we recommended a couple of days ago. You just stay long on this as long as it stays above the T-line. Helix, stay long, but I'd use today's low as a stop. You're in the overbought area. If they have enough selling pressure to open it and take it down through the low That means they're coming back to test the T-line. And Murphy's, Hanging Man Harami, use today's low as your stop. It shouldn't come back down through that level. Flamel, you could buy this one on positive trading, the fry pan bottom breakout. And TKAI, you can buy this one. I don't know what the volume is on this one, but that's a darn good looking chart with your hammer, doji hammer, gap up through this downtrending channel. Your next target is the 200-day moving average. See, we did Prego. Yeah, right now, if you're short, you stay short. If I was short this right now, I'd put my buy stop at today's open. It shouldn't come back up through there. And VRX, it had that gap up on Friday. Whoops. This is just great. Had that gap up, hold back, so it's still kind of ugly, a ugly chart, but you still have the message. If they start trading this positive after this gap up, you want to start buying. The profit taking today will be over. Caterpillar, yes, you can be shorting this one. And American Airlines, you could be shorting this one. This was kind of the one that instigated us to be looking at shorting ALK. Southwest, though, has held up pretty well. You can stay long on this one as long as it stays above the T-line. Like buying cookware, I see fry pans inside the fry pans. How far left to the left do you go? It doesn't really matter. If you see a big fry pan and there's another small fry pan, it tells you it's still investor sentiment building up. And the bigger the fry pan, the bigger the up move will be. XIV, still in this T-line crunch. If it opens lower, it's told you the 200 acted as resistance. If it opens higher, telling you you're still in kind of the bobble setup. Let's hang on for one more second. Oh, let's see. McDonald's came back up. The only problem with McDonald's is because it's an institutional trader, you can see that it hasn't had very big magnitude of movement for quite a while. I mean, from here to here, over the last 3 months, it's moved 7 points. So essentially, it's moved, I can figure this out, about 6% over the last 3 months. Even from here to here is an 8% move. It's just not, these big ones, unless you're holding them as long-term situations, you don't make a whole lot of money with them percentage-wise. FEYE looks like it's coming up nicely. And notice where it came up nicely from, right off the 50-day moving average, which means if they open this positive, you buy immediately because it'd be breaking out of this after bouncing off the 50. So that's a decent looking chart. EXAS, oh boy, with it closing below the T-line today, I would have been out of it. Good prospect is either probably coming back here, which is equating to your 50-day moving average. MKTO, you just stay long as it doesn't close below the T-line. EQIX. Yeah, little morning star type signal. And you can see where it's kind of resisted at the resistance level. But it's a morning star signal. If it opens positive, it's breaking out and confirming the morning star signal. Scotty. Solar City Corporation. You get ready to go short on this if they open it lower tomorrow, your evening star type signal. Speaking of which, we've got one of those big windmills just right on the next hill from me here. So I was asking a buddy of mine yesterday as we were burning trash out of the barn what they were doing with it. I thought a female had owned it. It was actually the county had bought it. They paid $800,000 for it. It was supposed to produce enough energy to keep the community center powered. Ever since I've been here, I've never seen it work. And he said they just sold it to a Jamaican resort club for $250. So that makes you kind of wonder where our tax dollars go to. Let's see. ONTY. You can buy this one kind of on the cradle patterns, just not a real great chart. So you got this little fry pan bottom, you got this bigger fry pan bottom again. So you can see it's bottoming. And it's a nice little breakout. If I was buying tomorrow, I wouldn't want to see it close halfway down this candle. This is the candle that told us the bulls were in control. Right. Tesla, we did Tesla, right? Tesla, you can stay long as it opens positive and stays above the T line. You're getting your J-hook type pattern set up. Goog, you stay short on this one, but Google L, yeah, stay short on this one. With that gap down, I wouldn't, if I was anything, I'd be short. But as you can see, there's not a very good chart pattern to this one. And LCI, this one you can get ready to buy. Oh, man. This one you can get ready to buy, especially on a positive open tomorrow. That'd be your double doji setup. So whenever you have a big move like this and a small couple dojis, if they open up positive, this just tells you the consolidation's over. Start heading, or it's going to go up further. Wheeler Real Estate. All you can do right now is stay long on this one, but it's only $1 stock, so you better have a good dividend yield from this one. I don't think I've seen a whole lot of REITs this low in price. But if you like it, you stay long on this one. Xerox for a short. Yes, if it opens lower, I would suspect they're bringing it all the way back down, down here. BAP, very simple. It's going to move in the direction of how they open this one tomorrow. You can see how you've got kind of a little tiny wedge formation. If they open it lower below the T line, they're taking it down some more. Tractor Supply. Stay long. This is the message. This is a good one to show as an example of the message. The message was right here. Get this. When they gapped it up, hold it back. Now told you the profit taking is over. Now look for a 45 degree off of here. Oh yeah, Jason, we were wondering if they were going to spend that much money. You would have thought they would have done some sort of. They had to have the average wind each day for ever since they've been recording weather. Okay, WHLR is a 15.2 dividend yield. All right, well, that's not bad. I would want to see, let me see. I'd want to see this trading 1.5 million shares a day. And it only trades 100,000 shares a day, so that makes it pretty dangerous. Okay, I guess that we got most everything tonight. With that, we'll see everybody bright and early in the chat room tomorrow. We'll see you then.